I'm Patsy. It's been 3 months since I walked out of that apartment, and as I sit here in my studio in Etoria, I can't help but reflect on how my life took such a drastic turn. It was a Saturday when I went back to the apartment. It felt so empty without him. I packed my things methodically, as if I were trying to put my life back into order. And then, in the back of the bedroom closet, I found a folder. Inside were printed apartment listings, all one bedroom, all dated early April, and a yellow legal pad with a pros and cons list. Staying with Patsy, comfortable, stable, good person, parents like her. Leaving, freedom, fresh start, can be myself, don't feel settled. And written later in a different pen, Luna makes me feel alive again. That's when everything clicked. This wasn't just a moment of temptation, it was a well-thought-out plan of cowardice. I took a photo of the page, packed the last box, and left my keys on the counter. Before walking out, I sent him a message, "Your apartment now. I'll cover my half of next month's rent. Don't contact me again." He replied instantly, asking for closure. I sent him the photo and told him he already had his closure. His final message was full of resentment, "I hate you for this. But how did I get here?" It all started when I thought my life was exactly where it should be. I worked in finance, a job with long hours and structured days. The numbers and patterns made sense to me. It was a job that drained me but also gave me a sense of control. I had been with Lucas for 3 years. We had moved past the honeymoon phase and into a steady, comfortable relationship. We lived in a nice apartment in Brooklyn for the last 18 months. We had our routines, Sunday grocery runs, Thursday night takeout, and a shared Netflix account that we argued over but never canceled. We even had one of those couples gym memberships that people joke about, and we actually went. My friends liked Lucas, and my parents trusted him. My father, a strict but fair man, once told me that Lucas was a good catch. My mother, who was more emotional, would often say that she hoped we'd get married soon. By March, I was starting to look at engagement rings, just out of curiosity. I thought maybe by the end of summer, we'd be engaged, and perhaps married by the next year. Lucas was 35 and worked in operations at a mid-sized firm. He was smart, calm, and he listened when I spoke. He never seemed threatened by my ambition. At least, that's what I thought. We had a conversation early on, one of those 2 a.m. talks where it's easier to be honest in the dark. I asked him what his deal breaker was, and he didn't hesitate. "Cheating," he said. "I'd never do that. If I ever felt drawn to someone else, I'd end things first. I don't believe in overlap." I looked into his eyes and believed him. But trust is a fragile thing. It starts to crack without you even noticing. At first, it was just small things. Lucas was always on his phone, which was normal. But in mid-April, something changed. He started angling his screen away from me on the couch. When a message came in, he'd turn the phone face down immediately. He took calls in the hallway instead of the living room. When I asked who it was, he'd say work stuff or just Luna, his ex-girlfriend. I didn't like it, but I didn't want to be the suspicious and insecure girlfriend. So, I told myself I was overthinking. But then, late in April, we were watching a movie, and his phone buzzed 3 times in a row. He grabbed it quickly, read something, and his face changed. It wasn't embarrassment or surprise, it was just red and tight. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah," he said too fast. "Luna's having drama again. Want to talk about it?" "No, it's stupid." His hands were shaking when he set the phone down. That was the first time I didn't let it go. After that, the late nights started. Tuesday, Thursday, sometimes even Wednesday. He'd come home around 10 or 11 o'clock, smelling like wine, saying they had work dinners or meetings. His company was small, and I'd met most of his co-workers at a holiday party. I couldn't remember them having so many evening events before. On May 3rd, a Friday, We had dinner plans at our favorite Italian place. At 4:30 p.m. He texted that something came up and he'd be late. I was already at the restaurant. I waited 20 minutes before leaving. I went home and ordered Thai food for myself. He came back at nearly midnight, saying he was sorry and that everything blew up at work. He smelled like someone else's cologne. I didn't say anything, just nodded and went to bed. That was the night I stopped making excuses for him. I didn't accuse him or cry. I started watching. I told myself I wouldn't snoop, that I'd face whatever was happening like an adult. I believed that if something was wrong, Lucas would tell me. But once doubt moved in, trust started to fade. On May 8th, a Wednesday, Lucas said he had another late meeting. He said it in the same calm tone, like it was nothing to question. That day, I was working from home. By 7 o'clock in the evening, I finished my reports early and decided to surprise him. I ordered food from his favorite Thai place, imagining the smile on his face when he saw dinner waiting. I called his office line first. No answer. Then I called his cell, and it went straight to voicemail. I tried again an hour later, still nothing. At 10:15 p.m. The door finally opened. "Hey," he said brightly, like he hadn't been unreachable for 3 hours. "Sorry, my phone died." He leaned down to kiss my cheek, and that's when I noticed. He'd left that morning wearing a blue button-down and slacks, but he came home in jeans and a green sweater I'd never seen before. "You eat?" he asked. "Yeah," I said slowly. "Where were you?" "Work thing." "You changed clothes?" He froze for a second. "Oh, yeah." I spilled coffee on myself during the meeting. I had to change into clothes I keep at the office. I didn't know he kept clothes there, and I knew he was lying. That night, after he fell asleep, I did something I never thought I'd do. I took his phone. His passcode was still my birthday. Unlocking it felt like a betrayal and a confirmation at the same time. I went straight to his messages. Most of them were normal, but then I saw it. A contact labeled Luna, old work. The most recent message was from 9:47 p.m. Tonight was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. My hands went numb. I scrolled through weeks of messages. There was flirting that turned intimate, complaints about me, and him telling Luna that she deserved more. There were photos of them at a bar and at a restaurant I recognized from May 3rd. A selfie of him wearing the sweater he'd just come home in, taken in what was clearly someone else's apartment. Then, the message that broke my heart. Sent by Lucas at 8:30 p.m. I hate lying to her, but I'm not ready to end things yet. I need more time. Luna's reply, take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. I sat on the bathroom floor and read everything 3 times. This wasn't a mistake, it was a plan. I took screenshots of everything, sent them to myself, deleted the sent evidence, and put his phone back exactly where it was. Then, I replied to Luna from his phone, I know what you did. The typing bubbles appeared instantly, disappeared, and reappeared. Finally, she asked, what? Patsy, what's going on? I didn't respond. I placed the phone back on the nightstand and slept in the guest room. At 6 a.m. I woke up to his voice, low and frantic, whispering. No, I don't know how that message got sent. She's asleep. It couldn't have been her. I walked into the bedroom, and he turned white. I have to go, he said into the phone and hung up. We stared at each other. Want to tell me about Luna? I asked quietly. He opened his mouth, then closed it. Tears welled up in his eyes. How long have you known? He whispered. Does it matter? I can explain, he said. Don't, I replied. Please don't insult me. He collapsed onto the bed, sobbing. I'm sorry, he said. I never meant for this to happen, but it did. He talked about confusion, distance, and feeling seen. But I realized he wasn't sorry for betraying me, he was sorry he got caught before he was ready to leave. I was calm as I asked him, did it happen on May 3rd? Or April 12th, or sometime in between all the lies? He flinched. That's not fair, he said. No, I replied. What's not fair is canceling dinner with me so you could sleep with your ex. What's not fair is coming home in clothes you changed into at her apartment and expecting me to believe a coffee spill story. He cried harder. I hate myself for this, he said. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did, I repeated. He reached for my hand, but I stepped back. Please, he said. We can talk. We can fix this. I'll cut her off. I swear. I laughed, not loudly, but with a sense of disbelief. Fix what? I asked. You told her you weren't ready to end things with me yet. That's not about working on us or loving me, it's just about needing more time. I told him I was going to stay with my sister for a few days, and when I came back, I wanted him gone. He was shocked. You're kicking me out, he said. You've been halfway gone for months, I replied. I'm just finishing what you started. I packed a bag and left. My older sister, Vivian, lived in Jersey City with her husband. She didn't ask questions when I showed up at her door at midnight. She just hugged me and handed me a glass of water, as if she knew my life had just fallen apart. The next morning, I told her everything. She listened without interrupting or defending him. When I finished, she said, "You're handling this better than I would." I admitted that I was in shock. I know what happened. I saw the messages, but part of me still can't believe he did this. She asked if I was thinking about giving him another chance. I looked at her like she'd asked if I was thinking about walking back into a burning building. No, I said. Lucas texted constantly for the first 2 days, sending apologies and promises. I responded once, saying I needed space. But he didn't respect that. On the 3rd day, a message came from an unknown number. Hey Patsy, this is Luna. Can we talk? My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen for a minute before replying. About what? She said I deserved the truth. We talked through text late at night. She said she didn't know about me at the beginning. Lucas had told her he was single when they reconnected in early April. They went on a few dates, and nothing felt secret. I asked when she found out about me. She said 2 weeks ago, Lucas broke down and admitted he was living with someone. He said things were basically over and he just needed time to sort things out. She also said she told him he needed to end it with me or she was done, and he said he would. She added that Lucas had told her I knew everything and understood. I closed my eyes and typed, he lied to both of us. She then said there was more. He'd been looking at apartments before anything physical happened between them. 1-bedroom apartments in Manhattan. He said he was planning his exit. I asked her why she was telling me this. She said Lucas called her crying, saying I was cruel and that I kicked him out without listening. That's when I realized he was still rewriting the story. Now, as I look back on all of this, I'm grateful. I'm grateful I found out before the ring, before the wedding. I'm not fully healed, but I'm steady. I've been focusing on work, and my boss mentioned a possible promotion by the end of the year. I've also been going to the gym more, reading books, and learning to be comfortable with myself. My mom called me last week. She said Lucas reached out, asking if I'd ever talk to him again. She told him no. I liked him, but I love you more, and you deserve someone who doesn't need a pros and cons list to decide if you're worth staying for, she said. And she was right.